You've cut back your hours, you're resting more, maybe you took stress leave, or you're doing everything right. You're reducing your screen time, you're meditating, and you're going to bed early. But you're still waking up exhausted, your tiredness doesn't lift throughout the day, and your energy is still fragile. It's not about just working less. The problem is in your nervous system. Burnout recovery takes more than reducing work hours and meditating more. It requires you to down-regulate your nervous system during the day while you're working. Once you learn how to take these somatic breaks, everything starts shifting. That's what I'm explaining today, and I'll give you 3 somatic practices to help you with that. I'm Naomi Galinsky. I'm a somatic trauma therapist and nervous system educator. I help high-functioning, emotionally intelligent women who are stuck in burnout, chronic fatigue, overwhelm, maybe even have chronic pain and other physical chronic issues, regulate their nervous systems so they can reclaim their life. If you're new to this channel, welcome. If you've been following me, it's good to have you back. Breaking the burnout cycle isn't just about working less and sleeping more. You have to learn to slow down during the day and listen to how your nervous system communicates with you. How does it communicate with you? Through sensation. By connecting with our system, we know when we're hungry, when we need to go to the bathroom, when we need to rest. The problem is that we haven't learned how to listen to our nervous system, so we override our signals until our body screams at us. Here are examples of how you might be overriding your nervous system. You're hungry, but you wait until your energy crashes. You need to pee 3 meetings ago, but you wait until you're in pain. You've worked through the whole day without resting, and your eyes hurt, and you have a headache. These things might be small, but they add up over time. And over time, that's when we end up with adrenal fatigue, chronic pain. That's when our body needs to scream at us to stop to pay attention to it. What happens at night then, when you try to rest and sleep and you haven't taken the breaks throughout the day to listen to your nervous system or to de-stress? Then at night, when your body is processing what happened throughout the day, needs to process the stress because we haven't processed it. And we've also piled up some stressors and tensions by not listening to our basic biological needs like eating, pooping, peeing, and resting. So sleep and rest, if you don't see that as a stress reduction, but doing the stress reduction so that then you are rested before going to sleep is super important so that your sleep is restorative. Because what happens is when your sleep is not restorative and you're processing the stress at night, then you're not sleeping properly. Your system, your nervous system is still in fight, flight, survival mode. And then that creates that loop of then waking up exhausted, having an exhausting day, stressed out in the evening and not being able to sleep again. So to end the burnout cycle, we have to put a stop in that cycle somewhere, and it begins during the day. And here's another thing. Your body is not a machine. It needs maintenance. And let's run with a machine analogy. If you work all day without taking breaks, without taking care of your biological needs, then it's like running a machine without oiling it properly and without doing maintenance ever, what happens to that machine? Eventually it will stop working. The same is for our brain and our body capacity. We need to take breaks so that the brain and the body can relax, so that we can have energy to keep going. And for us, when we keep ignoring our body's needs for rest, that's what leads to exhaustion. Our body gets depleted of its resources to produce energy. And when we keep going and ignoring that by using caffeine, drinking lots of coffee, or stimulants to keep going, that leads then to adrenal exhaustion, adrenal fatigue, and then eventually chronic fatigue and full-blown burnout. And here is how to start shifting out of this burnout. Schedule breaks, even if it's for 2 minutes. 5 minutes is better, but even if it's just for 2 minutes, schedule regular breaks. When I was recovering from chronic fatigue, it was super important that I don't override my system and keep working for hours on end, because that is a nervous system pattern from my family system, which I won't go into, that I'm very used to going down. So I had to set timers to make sure that I took breaks at the minimum every hour. And here are 3 somatic practices that I love doing. These are my favorite ones that I did during the day at work while I was healing from chronic fatigue. The first one is called orienting. The first somatic practice is orienting. Orienting to sight and sound. What does that mean? We take time to slow down and look around the space we're in. And this orienting is different from the hypervigilant looking around really fast, focused at things, because that is coming from a more stress response, from a survival response in our system. So orienting in an SE somatic experiencing perspective is to slow down and to take in the space you're in and maybe notice some details that you haven't noticed before, like the texture of the objects or the different shades of color. And then also orienting to sound and noticing what you hear. And the point of this is to help our body come back to the here and now. Because when we're stressed and anxious, we're in our heads and we're likely problem solving for something in the future that hasn't happened yet, or we're in the past ruminating and going through the what if scenarios, or how could I avoid that, etc. We're not here in the present. And another key piece of orienting is that animals do that naturally in the wild. Like imagine a herd of gazelles. When they're relaxed and eating, there are some of the gazelles in the herd will look up and look around. And if there's no danger, they're just taking in their environment. They're really present. Dogs and cats, if they are relaxed, I don't know where they're laying on your porch or outside and they're looking around, that's them orienting. And you can tell when they're looking around, orienting from a place of a regulated, relaxed nervous system. When they're in fight, flight, or when they suspect danger, then the body becomes rigid and you become focused on things. And orienting invites you to soften and relax your eyes, relax your hearing. And that can be done often throughout the day. It doesn't have to be a huge practice, but just to pause and be like, oh yeah, I'm in this room, there's a window there, there's some plants outside. And you connect with your breathing, with your body, and you just wait until the nervous system state shifts. And you know it's shifting when the breathing starts getting bigger, deeper, more relaxed. Your shoulders, your chest, your belly might start to soften. And your eyes, your face also start to relax. My favorite somatic practice number 2 while I was healing from chronic fatigue is called Follow Your Impulse. I got this practice from my teacher, Irene Lyon. And what I love about this is to be able to tune into what do I need right now? To pause and feel into the body, and it can be anything. It's like, oh, I'm hungry, I need a snack. Oh, it's time to take a break and rest, or I need the bathroom. And when I practiced Follow Your Impulse, I took a break. So I already knew that I needed a break, and I would go lie down on a couch somewhere. And then I would tune into what does my body want to do right now, and give it permission to do whatever it wanted. And usually, like, I threw one leg over the back of the couch, the other one sprawled that way. I don't know where my arms were. And just to allow my body to sink into the couch and soften. And maybe my head was back and my eyes were closed, or I needed to stare off into space because I was using my brain. Whatever it was, I gave my body, myself, permission to do whatever felt right. And this Follow Your Impulse practice, minimum 5 minutes. It takes time to really feel into the body and for the nervous system to settle. And again, watch out for the signs of your breathing pattern changing. Does your breath feel more expansive, relaxed? Does your body soften and relax more? Does your mind start calming down? Does your face soften? And number 3 of the somatic practices is to lie down flat on the ground and feel the body against the ground. I loved doing this practice, especially when I was really burnt out. I already had chronic fatigue, but there was varying energy levels. On days where I was just at the lowest of all energies, to just lie flat on the floor, palms facing up, and feeling the connection between my entire backside of the body and the ground. And allowing myself to be supported by the ground, and allowing my body to soften and sink into the ground. And really feeling the groundedness of earth supporting me. And as I lay there, I would notice how there would be micro shifts of my body starting to soften, relax, release. And eventually I would get to a place where I'd be yawning, breathing deeper and yawning. And that's when I knew, oof, my nervous system is really relaxing here. Try that. The lying on the ground thing is pretty amazing when you feel afraid. In summary, you don't need to wait until you've got chronic fatigue. Pay attention to the signs in your body. Take breaks to learn to pay attention to what your body is communicating to you. When the jaw is tense, the chest and the breathing is tight, or your eyes get tired, listen to that. When your belly is grumbling and you need to eat, and your bladder is starting to get full and you need to go to the bathroom, listen to that. Take breaks. Get your basic biological needs met before your body has to scream with you in pain. And if you related to some of the stuff that I talked today, or you would like me to record one of these practices to help guide you, then please comment. I would love to hear from you. If you like this video, then please hit the like button or subscribe so that this content can reach more people. And if you would like to explore this in a deeper way, then my 6-month program, the Nervous System Sanctuary, is the place to go to. This is where we'll do deep nervous system rewiring. You will get a lot of one-on-one guidance through the process. And it will be done so that you can sustainably live and work without needing to go through this crash, burnout, do lots of work cycle, pinging all over the place. It's not sustainable that way. You'll find the link below in the description for my offerings.